Welcome to the RG DFS Tournament Takes Podcast Wild Card Playoff Edition. Here, Chris Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, here with my boys, the crew, the squad. Up first, Derek Farnsworth, the Notorious one. What's up, Noto? How we doing?
Yeah, doing good. I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but I did a sound bath last night.
A what?
Lay there and they play some different sounds for you while you meditate. It's an interesting experience for sure.
Well, you were taking this playoff.
So I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I've seen the future. I can't wait.
Chris Prince, Beermakersfan, top that. What'd you do to get ready?
I mean, how do you top that? I don't even know what the hell that is. So
I didn't either before yesterday, but I'm familiar now.
All right.
We've hit a lot on the show this season. We've hit ice baths, we've hit colonoscopies, we've hit reconstructive knee surgery, and now we just add that to the list. Nice sound bath.
I mean, I'm feeling older than ever. This sounds like a younger man's activity, but good for Noto, man. He looks refreshed. He looks ready. He predicts the future. I mean, all good things. So feeling a legacy pod coming on.
Well, we have I've got big news. I'm going to be releasing on the show a play of the lifetime. So not play of the year, play of the month, game of the year, all that. This is play of a lifetime. Rarely will you ever, I mean, only time in my lifetime have I seen a play this strong. So I will be releasing that for a bet. But we have some
talk about a tease, man. Look at this guy.
I mean, this is it's big. I gotta do it. I had to give it to the secret chat first because they said that the Tourney Takes Syndicate has been known to move lines. So I gave it to them to get their bets in first here. And speaking of baths, you know who takes a bath every Saturday night? RotoGrinders host. You guys know this?
Whoever rosters.
Gotta be Dean.
What would you guess, Noto?
Whoever rosters Jacoby Myers.
I did last week, unfortunately. Chop takes a bath every Saturday night. He looks forward to it. It's his favorite time of the week, he says. So I don't know what he does in there, but maybe you could add a little sound bath to it too as well to really get him going. So I'll talk to him about that. But anyway, let's talk some playoffs. Do we have any? Oh, we don't have any thing to talk about. No stuff, TJ here. Anyways, let me know if we got any ads or whatever to discuss to read here. But let's talk playoffs. This is the time, right? We've been building up all season. We think we know what these teams are going to do. They're going to be playing, their best players, best matchups, the whole shebang. We got 6 games. I guess is that what we're going to do here? We're going to talk about the 6-game slate and then maybe give some thoughts while we're going, if you like them on the Saturday only or the Sunday only, et cetera, et cetera. That's the way we should do this, you think?
Yeah. Cover it as a whole and then kind of break it down by the two different. Now, just know the whole slates, there isn't much out there for prizes. And I get why they do it. I wish they would make that one a little bit bigger. But again, understand why the sites do it. But there's some huge ones for Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, we'll just cover it as a whole, and a lot of it will apply to your Saturday, Sunday onlys as well.
All right. Any big picture stuff we want to get in? How's the slate looking to you?
Playoffs, baby. What else we got to say? I mean, it's one of the best weekends there is, wild card week. I like how they spread out the games and, get 2 today, 3 tomorrow, get the Monday nighter. So it should be fun. There's some intriguing matchups. There's some big spreads. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited.
And there's a play of a lifetime.
Yep.
We are going to drop the bankroll on this play. That's my plan. I already have, but I'm going to be doing more and more and more. All right, let's. We do have TJ came through with an ad read, so we are still talking about pick labs here. So it's the newest Fantasy Labs feature that lets you scan the best player prop and pick them bets in seconds. Everything is broken down for you, from edges to win rates to value. It's a clean board showing which plays actually stand out across sportsbooks and sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. So when you see something you like, Pick Labs builds the slip, sends it straight to the book of your choice. And for a limited time, you can get free access through a Fantasy Labs DFS subscription. Visit fantasylabs.com/pricing and use FLEX20 for $20 off your first payment. You'll be wondering how this wasn't a thing already. And not only that, you're going to be up so much money from this play of the lifetime that you are going to have a lot to spend on picks going forward to make use of this. So, all right, let's talk playoffs games. So it's 6 games. Crazy week last week. I didn't do so well. Someone got on me, said he doesn't give a shit how I do. And in the comments of our show last second, that we're not friends or anything. I personally view all of our podcast listeners as my friend. And I think that's the way it should be. So I usually did. I'm going to keep with the show. It wasn't a great week for me. I think I broke even. But Noto, how did you do last week?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, it's too many slates, unfortunately, with NBA. Yeah, that's the problem here. Beer, do you remember anything stick out to you last week?
It was about a break-even week. I got on some Ray Davis late, which paid off. But, there were some other situations and plays that weren't great. RJ Harvey, namely, a little bit too much faith in the Saints passing attack, which we knew it was a bunch of bums running around, but had a lot of Loveland, which was good. So, a decent week, just didn't put it all together. Everybody
sucked, though. It was like, was Bijan on the slate last? Was he like the lock that he was the bomb, right?
Awful.
Yeah. Awful. All right, so this week is going to be much better. Looking down, so we'll just say first game that we have is the Rams traveling to Carolina, who got in even though they lost with a 45.5 point total. The Rams are 10.5 point favorites. We also have what should be a really good game. The Packers still 1.5 point favorites in Chicago against the Bears. Both of those teams, their defenses look pretty shaky here. So that game could be sneaky to shoot out. It is cold weather out in Chicago. Then the game with the massive highest total of 51.5, which is like 6 points higher than anything else, at least, is Buffalo at Jacksonville. And currently, Jacksonville is back up to a 1 point favorite. It depends on which book you look. It's anywhere from Bills 1.5 to Jags 1.5. So, and then they play with the juice, whatever. So it's basically a pick'em game. And I could see that one definitely going back and forth the way Trevor Lawrence is playing. And then also the way, Josh Allen, for some reason, the Bills think that they can just get smashed the first half and come back every single game in the second half, which is their MO this season. Then we go to a beat-up San Fran squad against the steaming line of the Eagles, who are all the way up to a 5.5 or a 6 point favorite, depending on where you look. Eagles got some they rested people. They got some key guys back on their offensive line. San Fran's defense is in shambles. So I like the Eagles in this spot. Then we've got the Chargers heading here to New England, where my Patties are 3.5 point favorites with a 45.5 point total. There's potential for some rain, some snow, some slush, it's going to be semi-cold here. So this could be a tough spot for Herbert in the cold weather with a banged up offensive line. Just saying. And then the final game of Monday night is you got the Houston defense, Texans, with CJ Stroud minus 3 points in Pittsburgh, who is getting a much-needed DK Metcalf back. And what a win against what a crazy freaking game that was with the missed extra point to the missed field goal. I mean, it was just nuts. I had bet big on Pitt, so it was I got really lucky there. Unlucky, then lucky. But, yeah, so that's what we got. So let's just start it on off here. We'll go running back like we always do. We'll go QB. We'll talk about wide receivers we like for our stacks. We'll talk some tight ends. We'll talk some defense. And we'll probably get out of here a little earlier than normal because of the small number of games. All right. Quarterback position, fellas. We've got all the best options, right? So we've got Josh Allen, with the high total game in a game that should, go back and forth with Trevor Lawrence. I think those two guys are going to be the chalk, and pretty close in both from an ownership perspective.
Why are you switching up the format on us?
We're going game by game?
We go running backs first around here.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Even said we'll start running back like that.
Yeah. My brain is mush. Plus, it's an hour earlier here. I'm not as prepared, and I'm going to blame beer on that one. But running backs.
11 o'clock over there.
Yeah.
Noto, it's like 8 in the morning, I think. 9 maybe.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, but when you're up all night and you got a bleeding finger that just won't stop, an infection.
Still bleeding?
It's infected now. It's crazy.
Boy.
Anyways, all right. Sharpening up. Here we go. Running back position. Josh Jacobs is healthy, is cheap, 6,300 on DraftKings, is a true, workhorse when he is healthy for this Green Bay offense. I think they rested him all up for these playoffs, and he should be ready to go. From there, you got CMC as the one that everybody wants at 8,500. Just the workload is huge. Not the best matchup, but good for the passing stats, the pass catching stats for running backs there. McCaffrey is just, what you're getting. You're just getting the massive workload. Saquon, playoff Saquon with his line back should be good to go. Could see a big game. The only thing you got to worry about is Hurts vulturing. You can play them both, get all the points if you want. There's a lot of ways you can go. James Cook, Kyron Williams, ETN, who's going to be maybe a little bit lower owned than the guys I just mentioned, but has the tasty matchup against the Bills. And then we've got some plays you can get down to, like DeAndre Swift, Gainwell, Marks, Henderson. We got the whole board to work with. Who do we like, Noto, as our key personnel? Who'd you write up?
Yeah, so it kind of depends on slate, but I'm playing Josh Jacobs on both the 2-gamer and the 6-gamer. Says he's the healthiest he's been in 6 weeks. Pretty good matchup against Chicago. Good price point. I could see, now that they're in the playoffs, his split with Emmanuel Wilson getting even greater. I think he's going to take on an even bigger role. So by far my favorite play on the board. Also like Saquon Barkley in both the 3-gamer and the 6-gamer. San Fran, man, they're just so beat up on the defensive line. I know Saquon hasn't been very involved in the passing game, but he has scored 4 touchdowns over the last 5 games. And the price point's really good. The touches have been there recently as well. So I think we see Saquon going a little bit of a run here in the playoffs. And then my fade of the slate is going to be Christian McCaffrey. Doesn't feel great. Obviously, he's going to be highly owned. The Eagles' run defense with Jalen Carter has actually been very good. The key for McCaffrey, at least his path to success here, is going to be through the air. And I could see him getting like 8, 9, 10 catches. That's going to be what I'm sweating here. But, man, they have the lowest team total of anyone outside of the Steelers and Panthers. Trent Williams could be out. We'll have to wait and see on that news. So I think there's some paths to failure for CMC. I like ETN quite a bit in the matchup at home against Buffalo. Kieran Williams against Carolina. They've been a bottom 5 run defense in the second half of the season. Kenneth Gainwell is going to get 6 to 8 receptions probably. We know Aaron Rodgers isn't going to throw the ball downfield, especially with Derek Stingley being on DK Metcalf. So I think Gainwell is just going to get a bunch of dump offs. And Houston, that's like the one thing they struggle with is covering running backs out of the backfield. And then we have the Bears guys. So I think there's a lot of good options, which is why I'm cautiously going to fade CMC this week.
That's what I'm doing too. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are going to end up doing. I'm not sure. Because you just look at the pricing and then you say to yourself, I can still get Jacobs, Saquon, who's got massive upside, James Cook, ETN, Kyron with the high spread there. So we're not suffering by any means by fading him, I don't think. But again, you get that workload. Those passes could be big. If he gets in the end zone, we could be coming from behind. But
what are we rooting for here? 20 or less, and we'll be okay.
I think that's a good bar.
Yeah, if he scores 21, 22, is that even going to kill you? It all depends what these other guys do. But all these guys have big games in them. But what are you thinking, Beer?
Yeah, on a similar page, McCaffrey, obviously we know the upside, but, he's likely going to have to do most of it through the passing game, like Noto mentioned. And we've seen him do it. It's not out of the question. So I'm waiting on that Trent Williams news. I think that is, massive difference in what this running game can do and cannot do. It's not an easy matchup either way, but without that anchor, that offensive line, I just don't see him having a whole lot of success on the ground. So now you're really relying on him catching 7-8 passes and, finding the end zone. And again, possible, yes, but that Trent Williams news is kind of my deciding factor on how much McCaffrey I'm going to have. Noto a lot more optimistic about Jacobs. I get it. The price is there. And yes, he's the healthiest he's ever been in a week up. He's still not healthy, in my opinion. So he'll get a big workload, no doubt. I think this game's going to be kind of a slog, kind of slow, and the carries will be there. But I worry about the upside with him in this spot. So I'm worried about the ownership on him as well. Seems to be very popular at that price, again, for good reason. But I'll likely be underweight on him. So some of the guys I really like Kyron Williams in this spot. We're talking about a team that is 10.5-point favorites. Noto brought up the run D, that they were good earlier in the year, and it has just gone downhill very quickly in this spot. And the question will be, well, what about Corum? I think Corum's in play too. He's a little bit more expensive than I would like, but we know generally in the playoffs, things tighten up, and it's still been Kyron Williams getting 2/3 of the snaps as we head into the playoffs. So Corum's getting work. I think he's probably a good touchdown bet. So maybe a better play on FanDuel, but I think Kyron Williams, an excellent play. And I like your Patriots here. I know the matchup not great with the Chargers, but I still like Travion Henderson at 6,000. Everyone's seeing Ramondre coming off the big game, and they've done a great job getting both of these guys involved. But a guy that can bust a big run anytime he touches the ball carries so much value in these tournaments. So the upside with Travion Henderson is one I'm going to be all over. The 6-gamer, the 3-gamer, whatever it is. I know we had a question about that. What slate are we breaking down? I think we're covering it as a whole, and a lot of it will apply to Sunday. And then there's some backup running backs that are interesting. We just mentioned Corum. You can make a case for Kyle Monangai, as Noto brought up. Chuba Hubbard, who had a big game against this Rams team last time they played. So those are ways you can get different. Those aren't going to have a lot of ownership on a 6-game, a 3-game, a 2-game, going a little bit cheaper at the running back position, especially a team like the Bears. Yes, Swift gets more work, but, they trust Monangai when they get close. So, maybe it's him that plunges in a touchdown or two, and he outscores Swift, and he's, a fraction of the ownership of what you're going to pay there. So I think these backup running backs, specifically Monangai, Chuba Hubbard, Blake Corum, are very intriguing to me this weekend on any slate.
No love for Woody Marks at all.
I don't mind him
just because he's hitting, because he's cheap. He's you're getting him with builds, optimizers.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yep. He got hurt last week. Yeah, I don't know what to do with Ramondre or Travion. Ramonde's looked so freaking good. I think it's a true hot hand situation.
I can't believe his stats the last 2 games. I had to double check, triple check them.
Yeah, the whole world played best balls for Travion to be taken over for the end of the season, and it was just Ramondre that got it done. Speaking of backups, like 45, I'm kind of tempted at 4,500 Chuba Hubbard for the passing game work potentially.
More a 2-game slate play, probably.
Yeah, so that's probably correct. But again, it could be helpful on the big game slate too. He's only 4,500. What else? What are we missing here?
Do you guys like Gainwell at all? I think he's going to get so many receptions.
Yeah, then I'm on my word. He's only a few hundred more than Woody Marks too. So that's kind of like that low range there, but DeAndre Swift is right there too. So I think Swift will get the most ownership, maybe, or Gainwell will be one of those guys, and then the really lower owned guys will be Travion, Ramondre because no one really knows what to do. Jalen Warren is kind of interesting, but it's that Houston D, which makes him less interesting. And then what do we think about this Chargers backfield at all?
I don't have a ton of interest. Hampton banged up, says he's going to play. I think it'll be a split backfield. And we had a question about Kamani Vidal. I don't know. That Chargers team as a whole is hard to get excited about for me.
Well, that's the lead way. I am releasing the play of a lifetime. It's going down. It is the Pats money line, which is, I should do 3.5 for the play of a lifetime, but the only one I don't trust is Vrabel to do something stupid, like go for a 2-point conversion to win the game at the end or so. Regardless, I have full faith that they're going to win. I probably think it's a blowout. 3.5 I think is worth taking, but the money line is easy peasy. And then you can pair that with the Rams money line if you want to get it down a little bit, or you could even play an alt spread at -2.5. But the full official play of a lifetime, never seen a play this strong in my entire betting career, and I've been betting since 8th grade. So that's what it is. Pats money line. Let's go.
Hey,
let's go.
Speaking of the Pats, how did Stafford steal the MVP from?
Yeah, because Vrabel, man. You know what else I lost? I had a massive bet on Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, and Matthew Stafford to throw 2+ touchdowns. That's all over 1.5 TDs. And May, I was shocked. I could not believe they didn't, when they got down in the red zone, that they didn't throw it at all. They just fed Ramondre. I just could not believe it. The Vrabel just did not care. Either that or he, the team culture, I get all that. But when it's just there, it's gravy to just pick it up and, you never know if he'll ever have another MVP chance again. People get hurt, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. But I get it. It's the team concept. Or maybe he just didn't think – he thought he already had it wrapped up like the odds were saying going into that week. But, man, and then all the garbage time Stafford, that was just painful. Painful. But I know you got some Stafford tickets, I think. No?
I don't have any Stafford tickets. I had a Josh Allen one, but
yeah, that's what was confusing. Okay. Also, the only thing that's a little worrisome. Did you hear about the flu going around for the Pats? And then also Travion left for personal reasons. I don't know. Is that what happened? Didn't he not practice or somebody not practice? Oh no, Booty. Wait, no, Booty's got the hamstring. I don't know. There's rumors that
scared us now with these rumors, man.
There was rumors that there was flu going around.
This play better hit. Nice. Kevin said his 8th grade is going to have to start door dashing if it doesn't. So,
well, that's how it was. I was selling baseball cards in 8th grade, and I had a paper route. So people are going to have to do what they got to do. But this is the opportunity of a lifetime, and that's all I'm going to say. All right, let's go to QB. Even though I already gave the preview at the top of the show. Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence, biggest spread, probably the best game to stack overall from like what you're expecting the points to go back and forth. 2 quarterbacks that are just playing elite, especially Trevor Lawrence. Man, what a season he ended up having. Jalen Hurts, is he gonna throw it all in the second half? Do we think he'll actually throw in the second half?
I think so. I think the Niners can score some points, but we'll see.
Just not against Seattle. Crazy. Yeah, crazy. Anyways, Jalen Hurts, the tush push will be live and in effect, and they're going to have their offensive line full together. They can do it any which way they want against the San Fran defense at this point, I think. So I think we're going to see a lot of A.J. Brown. I think we're going to see a lot of Saquon. I think we're going to see a lot of Jalen Hurts running. Drake May, sneaky running back. You remember when they were big game against Buffalo, and then when he had his legacy first half that we called and nailed. Drake was running it in. I think that's gonna happen again. So I see that. Now from here it gets more interesting, right? Because everyone's gonna be focused on these top guys, but then we got guys like CJ Stroud with a fresh Nico who rested last week. I think that's somewhat interesting. Jordan Love is somewhat interesting coming back from the concussion finally. Herbert, I guess. I'm not doing it, but people can make a case. And then I guess the favorite for the MVP, Matthew Stafford, is sitting there at 6,900, and then Caleb looks pretty cheap at 5,600. I don't know. So what way are you leaning for your lineups? How are you playing this beer?
I mean, I love me some Josh Allen, so he's easily my favorite here. We always, the key with him, can the other team do enough to push him? And Jacksonville has proven they are on fire right now. So I don't know if they go out here and score 35 points against this Bills team, and maybe we do get a big shootout total at 51.5. But I absolutely love Allen. So whether it's 6-gamer, the 3-gamer, he is easily my favorite quarterback. And, the question is, who do you stack him with? I don't think you have to put anybody with him, to be honest. I mean, you can just roll him out there, and I think he's going to get a ton done through the air, on the ground. This is a Jacksonville defense that's very good against the run, not so great against the pass. So I think he's going to be able to exploit that. And you can take shots with, Shakir's and Brandon Cooks and some of the tight ends. So I think you can go a variety of ways. The tight ends make sense, as Jacksonville has struggled there. But you can play him without anybody. And I don't think a lot of people are going to do that. Everyone's so programmed to stacking. So he'll be my highest owned across the weekend. If we're looking at just tonight's game, I do like Jordan Love. I think he's a little bit too cheap. Everyone's a little worried. There's the jokes out there. And I made the same joke that Green Bay's rolling out their backup quarterback here tonight with Malik Willis hurt. But this is a guy that can put numbers on the board. He's going to take shots. I know the weather was a concern. It's not as big of a concern to me. These teams are used to this, some snow, some wind. I don't think anything is crazy there. So I like him. You got a lot of cheap ways that you can stack him, and it gets you off some of the Josh Jacobs ownership if you want to take a different route with that. So another guy tonight that's interesting is Bryce Young at 5,000. Love the correlation with anything Rams. If the Rams pile up points, as bad as Bryce Young has been, he's going to have to throw the ball an absolute ton in this game to keep it going. I don't think this game goes the way the last one went. So at 5K, again, some cheap pass catchers that you can stack him with. Those two are probably my favorite on this Saturday slate. Sunday, again, I'm going to have mostly Josh Allen. I do like the Drake May call, and Brock Purdy's not going to have any ownership. So that offense was cruising. They ran into the best defense in the league. But we're talking about a team that could have been the number 1 seed, and everyone's super excited about them. And now, nobody loves the 49ers. So at under 10% ownership, I think Brock Purdy, I'm mainly on that Sunday slate, but you could even play it on the full week slate. Makes a lot of sense to me. Not an easy matchup, but I think he can get it done against this Philadelphia team. But if I'm picking one, I'm going to have a ton of Josh Allen this weekend.
What's interesting is looking at Noto's chart here from just the just straight up DVP for QBs. You get the best matchup would be the Packers at the Bears here. So Jordan Love is right there, and then shockingly, the next best is Houston Texans against Pitt. A little different with J.J. Watt back now, but certainly their defenses, you can get to them. So those are probably some low-owned interest piece. What do you guys think of Stroud at all?
I love him on the 1-game slate.
There it is. There it is. Beautiful.
I'll share that sentiment.
Yeah, what else are you doing, Noto, here?
Yeah, I agree with Beer. I think Josh Allen's ahead above everyone else on the 6-game slate and on the 3-game slate. You just get him in the playoffs. He's going to run more. He's going to do more of everything. And yeah, I don't mind the matchup against the Jaguars. I think that game's got shootout potential. I'm a little surprised that Stafford isn't getting more ownership. I mean, the double stack basically builds itself with Puka and Adams. They have the highest team total on the board of all of the 12 teams. And I don't know, he's MVP. So if he's not going to be owned, I like him in tournaments. Beer also brought up Bryce Young. I think it's a game where they're going to be trailing. They're going to want to run the ball early, but the Rams are going to put up a bunch of points. You can beat the Panthers on the ground or through the air. So I think Bryce Young's going to have to throw it 35 plus times. And I don't know. I like home underdogs when it comes to value at quarterback. I'm probably not going to play a ton of Hurts. I'm fine with Lawrence. Bad news for Jordan Love. Toyotathon ended 5 days ago, so that narrative is no longer with us, but does have the best matchup on the board. Kidding aside, like if you don't like Jacobs, then you got to think Love's going to have a really nice game. And we did get a question, Beer, are the Packers winning? I'm curious as well because I kind of want to bet them tonight.
I do not think they win. If I'm being honest here.
That sounds like a fate of a lifetime to me.
Maybe this is a hedge. So I just, that last game went so well until everything fell apart. So it's easy to look at that and say, Green Bay dominated this game, and an onside kick, yada, 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 and they lose. I just, no Micah Parsons is certainly a concern for that defense. Giving Ben Johnson, he's already seen this defense twice. Giving him the time to prepare. LaFleur on the hot seat. How healthy is Jacobs? I just have many more questions on the Green Bay side. Now, you make the argument, experience in the playoffs matters, and this will be a first for, a lot of these Bears guys, specifically Caleb Williams. But I hate to say it. I hope Green Bay wins, but I do not feel strongly, and I think the Bears win. So do with that what you will. No.
Okay, I'm switching sides. Speaking of Matt LaFleur, did you know he's the oldest coach in the NFC?
Yeah, I think in the NFL I saw.
Like, that's wild. He seems like our age, younger than us almost.
It's crazy.
NFL has to be Raiders.
It can't be the NFL.
It can't
Pete
be
Carroll. Pete Carroll.
Well, he gone.
He was there.
Gone, but
he gone.
Well, Sean Payton is much older than LaFleur. So even the NFC, though, that's crazy.
Should we fire up a spaces, talk about the carousel for coaches, all the open vacancies and stuff? Sure. Should we talk now about it? Is that what
the first time in a long time my team doesn't have a coaching controversy, so I'm happy.
Wow, I can't believe you guys are playing Bryce for the price, I guess, but he's just so small.
Probably not a 6-gamer, but I do like him in the 2-gamer.
And then Purdy looked amazing, right? For 3-game stretch with 15, 16, 17, put up 40 fantasy points against the Bears in that wild game. One stinker against Seattle, and nobody's going to play him, and they're going to probably be in comeback mode. That's how you win a wild card slate, no?
All depends on Trent Williams.
That's why I brought. If Trent's out, they're going to have to throw even more. If you can't run the ball,
and he's probably going to play, is what I read. But I don't know for how long, or for how much, or how effective he's going to be. I don't know. He made it sound like he's going to play. Is really what it is. But
that's a huge, obviously, for that whole offense. If he's out, the pass rush, you worry about all that. But I think Purdy at that ownership, I like it a lot.
Yeah, that it stands out like a sore thumb. And then you're right with Stafford, but you have to double stack them, right? And everyone's going to want to play Puka, Devontae, and that's gonna be look low from a total perspective from the QB position, but there's going to be so many Stafford, Devontae, Puka stacks. What's interesting is Higbee comes back now.
Yeah, and Ferguson questionable at the tight end room is. I worry that they truck this team, and then how much upside is there in that double, and they may get it done in a half, 3/4. We may see this game go similar to what the last one went, and they are throwing the whole game. So I just worry about the upside.
All right, I think we covered them all. No, we're not playing A-Rod, right?
I'm not
against Houston. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be fun watching him just bitch at everyone because he's gonna be getting pressured the entire time.
Saw a funny tweet that said the last thing that Harbaugh saw as a coach was Aaron Rodgers doing his little jump move with his arm in the air, this little Super Mario move.
And I'm so sick of him, the fake draw offside. I honestly wish the NFL would say, if you go do a fake draw offside and it's not successful, it's a personal foul, 15-yard penalty. It makes viewing so bad when they take it down to the 2-minute warning every time. Every it's so annoying. Anyways, all right, let's move on over. Wide receiver. A lot of ways here. This is where the variance happens. So from an ownership perspective, Puka, everybody wants Puka. They made him, they probably should have made him 9,500 or 9,900 or 98, something to make this a little more interesting, make it a little harder, because you can get Puka pretty easily. Now, it is a little bit difficult to get CMC and Puka together, but still, he's going to be, for good reason, he's going to be very popular. But we do get Devontae, and Devontae was the red zone king when he was out there. The little corner fade to Devontae was the new tush push. So that's something to watch out for. I mean, you could even play it. If you want to be different, you play Stafford without Puka. But how realistic is that? I don't know. Anyways, from there, you got A.J. Brown, looks like a good high-end guy for 6,900. The cheap guys that look like smash values is Christian Watson. You're getting the wide receiver one against the Bears there. Parker Washington. You're getting he's wide receiver one, right? Got it. Think
like
he earned it. Yeah. I know I was spitting out Myers. It looked like Myers was for a little bit, and then you guys were right in the end. Jacoby got me last week, but Parker Washington looks easy. I love Diggs. Surprise, surprise. I just, I look at his ownership percentage, and yes, that's not going to have the best game conditions, but they are unleashing him. When he's on the field and he's playing, they're like the most efficient combo in the NFL is made at Diggs. This is when you use Diggs in the playoffs. This is what they were saving him for. So I love him. I think Nico Collins is pretty interesting. Got the nice rest week. I think for value, Jaden Reed is there. Shakir is there. I don't know. There's so many options from like Jalen Coker or Luther Bird and everybody. So how did you narrow it down, Nono?
Yeah, I'm prioritizing Puka over CMC on the 6-game slate. That's kind of why I'm not having a ton of exposure to him. I know Adams is back, but Adams hasn't had like huge yardage games this season. He's just been, a touchdown threat. And, Puka's kind of filled that role the last few games without Adams, but I still think he's going to be in really good spot against Carolina. You mentioned Parker Washington. Over the last 3 games, the dude's just been on a tear. He's seen 22% of the team's targets, 34% of the team's air yards. He's had 400 receiving yards during that stretch, and he's playing the slot more than Jacoby Myers. So I think that's a pretty valuable role in this matchup against the Bills. I like Christian Watson against Chicago. He's kind of been the clear wide receiver one for the Packers when he's been healthy. Over 20% target share, over 20% air yard share over the last 5 games for him. I think it's a good spot for A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. I always have a hard time trusting the Eagles because if they get out to a lead, they're just going to want to milk the clock. So not sure what to do with them yet. I like the Diggs call. You mentioned it. Yeah, when he's on the field, he's been great. He just hasn't run a ton of routes, but now that we're in the playoffs, that 58, 59% route share is probably going to go up to 70, maybe even higher. So I like that call quite a bit. If you want to get really different, you got Ted McMillan in a game where they're going to be trailing. You got Brian Thomas Jr. against the Bills, who are missing their fastest corner that they drafted in the first round. I don't like Brian Thomas Jr., but, man, it's going to take 1 or 2 plays for him to get there. Luther Burden's interesting as well. I don't think Odunze is very healthy, so even if he's out there, I think Burden could be an interesting tournament play. A lot of routes to go. The Buffalo situation is do you just play Allen by himself with one of his tight ends and not play any of these receivers?
You play Kincaid, I guess, but I think a lot of people are going to do that. But Shakir at 4,800, how bad could it be?
He's like a poor man's Jacoby.
Exactly. Those two are 2 peas in a pod. Little Brandon Cooks. There's an option for you.
I mean, that's a slate winner if he breaks one.
When he went up, made that catch, I was like, I didn't know who it was at first. I'm like, holy, was that Brandon Cooks? I mean, the guy looked like he was from 10 years ago, Brandon Cooks.
What about any Chargers guys?
Well, we know Gonzalez is probably going to be on Johnson, right?
Yeah, that's what I think.
So,
Lad.
I mean, Lad probably, but Keenan's cheap. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel great about any of them.
Yeah, I'd rather play Coker probably
Like
in that
Coker.
ring. I love your tech call. I mean, it's like he's only 6K. He's so talented, and they're going to be in trail mode. Should be in trail mode all game. Like maybe they get trucked, like Beer said, but there's a way that this guy could absolutely nuke. What are you thinking, Beer?
So, chalk looking like Puka. Obviously, there's so much value. You can make that work pretty easily. Parker Washington and Watson looking like the highest zone guy, and that's on the 6-gamer. So you get down to your individual slates, and those guys are going to carry a ton of ownership. So I'm fine with all of them. Obviously, Puka, again, we don't need to dig into it. He's a great play. I also prefer him over CMC if I'm paying up. Parker Washington's been great, specifically when they get close. They look to him in the red zone. So he's too cheap, and Watson is that big play guy for Green Bay in a good matchup. So those all make sense as far as ownership goes. Some ways to get different off of that. You guys brought up Jaden Reed. More of a DraftKings play just for the PPR upside, but I do like that one on the cheap. Luther Burden and DJ Moore. Nobody ever wants to play DJ Moore. He just destroyed this team, making maybe the play of the season a couple weeks ago. So I agree. Rome is back. I just don't see him having a huge role, maybe more of a decoy. So both Burden and DJ Moore look a little bit too cheap to me in this spot. Another one for tonight, I like both Carolina guys. Tet, the number one receiver against a team that's likely going to pile up points. If it does go that way, he only got one catch last time they played, but it was a 43-yarder. So this is a Rams team that you can beat down the field. Yes, they likely double team him. So Jalen Coker, very intriguing to me. On the 6-gamer, he'll have no ownership. Even on the Saturday slate, he's probably pretty low owned there as well. So really like those guys. The Chargers guys I'm not getting into too much. I know DK Metcalf's coming back, but that's a tough matchup with that Houston secondary. So not getting to much there. Trying to see what other situation. Oh, I like the Niners. Pearsall out, so Jennings should see a pretty sizable role here. Eagles been good against tight ends. So we mentioned Purdy. We mentioned that's a way to get different, get off some of the CMC chalk, go with the passing game. I like Juwan Jennings at low ownership on the Sunday slate.
Question. Why do we not like Romeo Dobbs for just 400 more than Jaden Reed when he put up 84 yards and a touchdown in week 16 against them?
He's fine.
He's going to be out there. Wicks is probably going to be out, right?
He's out. Yep.
And they don't trust the tight end, so I think we're going to see. I don't think they trust Golden yet either. So
no, they don't. So they made it very clear. He was out there. He was out last. He was playing last week with the scrubs.
So I think we're going to see those three: Dobbs, Reed, and Watson out there for most of the snaps. So I like it.
It just feels. It's just like 400 more is nothing. I could just see that working out from an ownership perspective, especially. And man, I like your Luther Burden call too, but like we keep saying that, like he should be the Bears wide receiver one. He's probably going to be deemed like not very playable this week with Odunze potentially, Odunze back, but and just the fact that he's not on the field enough. But when he's on the field, this dude is elite. You said it last week, like here are his stats, like advanced stats, go out toe to toe with like Puka and a bunch of other top guys. So I feel like last week he burns everybody, and now we got week one in a game that probably goes back and forth with two shaky defenses, and he's 4,600.
Oh, and everyone's excited about Loveland too, so that takes some ownership away from him with good reason. He's put some games on the board, but that ownership on Burden, again, he'll be higher owned on just the Saturday slate. But if you're playing the whole weekend, I don't think it's probably under 10%.
I'd want to play Booty, but I'm scared about this hamstring.
I saw something that the Chargers, they haven't given up a ton of big plays, but they could have. Like a lot of them have been close. It's like the advanced metrics, like the deep guys against the Chargers. So I don't mind the Booty call.
I mean, there's so much The wide receiver is where you get different this week, I think.
Beers Jennings call might be my favorite tournament play. That's a good one if you're not playing CMC.
There's so much value in
under
like
5% owned.
4 to 6K ish range of wide receivers.
Because you don't need to do much, and they're all capable of putting up 20 burgers, 20 piece if they get in the end zone. I guess the grossest of the gross would be BTJ. Is that true?
Yeah, I talked about him a little bit.
Yeah,
Bill's missing their fastest corner, but
and it the highest total game. So it's not like he's in the Houston. If he was in a game with a 37-point total. But
True.
a guy that in a 51.5-point total, and if everyone's going to go Lawrence, Parker Washington, and then either Jacoby or Brenton Strange, there's always intrigue there.
And the last time the Jags were in the playoffs, they were down by like 4 touchdowns in the first half, and then had to air it out. They came back and won against the Chargers, but I could see them getting off to a little bit of a slow start here.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Buffalo should be the slow starter based on how they've been doing it on the road. All right, tight end. Another position that should have some decent variance here. Looks like Kincaid is going to be the highest owned because he's an easy pairing with Josh Allen and the highest total gain, 3,800. Beers boy, they just mentioned the love that everyone's getting for Colston Loveland. So like him, Goddard. Playoff Goddard, should be ready to go here. Always a red zone threat for sure. There's a lot of different ways it can go, but if you're not playing Saquon, if you're not playing Hurts, getting a piece with Goddard here of that red zone upside makes a lot of sense. George Kittle, do we think he's fully healthy?
No.
So do we
and the
not play? So we fade him at 6,200.
I probably won't have a ton, which again is scary, as I do like this offense. But that's a high bar, a guy that's not 100% in a tough matchup.
Some guys I'm looking at. I don't love Hunter Henry. I know he's kind of chalky this week. A lot of optimizers are playing him. I don't love it. I actually kind of like Gadsden at 3,400. You're just looking for touchdowns, but he could certainly produce. Tommy Tremble is my cheap guy.
Yes.
They just fed him. They just fed him, and he started off with a nice little tutty, against the Tampa Bay. He looks good. It's 2,800. Why not? And then I guess you could also go Brenton Strange. There's a lot of ways to go. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Noto, on the potential the Higbee situation here. But who are your favorite tight ends just in general?
Yeah, so last week Higbee played 62 or ran around on 62% of the dropbacks, which is a huge number for a first game back from injury. I do think Parkinson's still going to play a lot, but love Higbee at 3,200, especially on the Saturday slate. I think Loveland's fine as well. Kind of with you guys on Kittle. You were talking about your generational bet on the Patriots money line. My generational bet is on first touchdown scores in the Jags game, going Knox at plus 2,200 and Kincaid at plus 1,800. Seems like every playoff game the Bills are ever in, he throws to one of his tight ends. You never know which one it is, so don't bet one of them. Bet them both. That's my generational bet of the week. And then generational of the week.
Nice. Love to hear it.
And then, look, if you're playing the 6-game slate and you want a piece of the Monday night game, I kind of like Dalton Schultz. The Steelers have allowed the third most fantasy points to tight ends this season. So I think that's my favorite way to get exposure to that game. Doesn't mean you have to, but that's kind of the way I like to do it. And then Dallas Goedert against the linebacking corps is just really banged up of the Niners. So I think he's viable as well.
Is Musgrave viable?
I don't know. He just hasn't been on the field.
Begrudgingly, sure. I don't know.
Right.
That guy is frustrating.
His snap share was like 20% the last 2 games.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know. He should be the guy, you'd think.
No, they trust Wiley. So,
who are your favorites?
So tight end's interesting. If you look at the whole week, ownership's pretty spread out. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be super highly owned because a lot of these guys feel the same. Like, I don't think there's a separator at the position. You look at tonight, anyone not named Colston Loveland, you're immediately making your lineup that much different. So as much as I like him, 60, 70% owned Colston Loveland feels not so great. So I think Higbee's a great pivot there. I love the Tommy Tremble call. With Tremble, you're really, give me that touchdown or bust. But again, we keep going back to Carolina having to throw a bunch. The focus will be on Tet McMillan. It's going to open up opportunities for some of these other guys. So that's the way I think I'm handling Saturday, is just probably underweighting Loveland. I'm not going to fade that because it's a great price. The guy's ascending, great connection with Caleb Williams, but that makes you different instantly going off of him. Sunday, I think you're going to see a lot of Kittle, Kincaid, and my guy Dallas Goedert, who, the Niners have given up some touchdowns to tight ends. They rank in the bottom 5 or 10, I believe. And look at the touchdowns of late. They get very creative with him when they get close to the goal line. It's not just the tush push. He seems to find the end zone every week. So really like Dallas Goedert this week. I like the Schultz call, obviously on the 1 gamer, but if you're playing the 6 gamer, that shouldn't see a ton of ownership there. I want to like your Gadsden call. I'm a big fan of his, but the role has just been nothing of late, and they're spreading the ball out to so many different guys. But we know he has upside there. So to round it all off, I like Loveland more on the 6 gamer, where he won't have as much ownership. Tonight, I think I'm pivoting off of him to Higbee and Tremble. And then Sunday, I really like Dallas Goedert this weekend.
Nice. 2 Galaxy Brain to play Cole Kmet.
2 gamer is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, or you can go double tight end on the 6 gamer and just pray for somebody, but I don't know. All right, defenses. Make sure you do your settings so that you can get all defenses against your offensive players, even in a 6-game slate. I don't think, just play whatever fits that you like on the lineups you like. But as far as defenses for me, that I actually like, I think the Eagles are in a pretty good spot. I think the Steelers, from a price perspective, I like a lot against Stroud or Houston. They probably get a nice pick and some sacks. And I mean, you can play the other way too. Texans, 3,300, you can get up there. And obviously the Rams will be the top spend up for people if they're trying. But what are you thinking at D, Beer?
I really like the Texans in the 6 gamer. We know it's a very elite defense. This Pittsburgh offense leaves a lot to be desired. Now, Rodgers is not a huge turnover guy, but this is a very capable defense of causing turnovers. Speaking of turnovers, this Bears defense has thrived on turnovers tonight. So I like them. I'm not going to be a homer here and give you all Green Bay. In fact, I like Chicago side more here tonight. So, Jordan Love working his way back. Maybe feel a little heat. Everyone's excited about, Malik Willis, and, maybe he forces things a little bit, throws off his back foot, which have frustrated me for years. This Bears defense just very capable of creating turnovers. So they're probably, along with the Texans, my favorite defense. And then you mentioned the Eagles. I think they're in play for sure. This Bills Jaguars is a way, nobody wants to play defenses in a huge total game, but as good as both these quarterbacks have been, there could be some turnovers there at very low ownership. So that's intriguing, but boils down Texans on the full game, on the full 6 gamer, and really like the Bears here for tonight.
Got to add in my Patties, just because of the offensive line troubles of the Chargers. The Pats don't get a ton of pressure, but they get enough, and they should be able to get pressure in this matchup. So I think an increase in sacks might be there, although Herbert is getting the ball out quick. I like that. Yeah, I don't really care. That's just like the one I'm playing the most has been Steelers in my lineup build so far. But you know my feeling. It's always how low can you go? All right, let's build a lineup for the people. What do we think? Who wants to start it off with QB?
Josh Allen.
I think we all kind of like Allen.
Josh Allen. All righty. Let's move on over. So who are we pairing him with? Are you going to say tight end?
I'm going to say nobody for now.
No Kincaid or just a naked Josh?
Yep.
Just put that first touchdown. We'll be fine.
Let him spread the ball around.
Hey, no, he's already getting paid. Noto's already getting everyone paid from the first touchdown.
That's
anyway.
Right.
So
Yep.
Let's not be greedy here.
All right. So are we fading CMC?
Yeah.
Yes. And then who are you fading? Beer is kind of low on. I like Jacobs. Noto likes Jacobs. I took it. Beer kind of low on Jacobs.
That's two against one.
No, so we can still go. We can go like Cook or Kyron and Barkley.
Saquon and ETN, maybe?
Yeah, I want ETN.
Do you guys like Saquon? I know we talked about it, but I don't remember.
Yeah. I like Kyron a lot too. If we need a third one.
Let's see here. All right.
You gushed about Diggs, and
I love Diggs.
You made a generational
Diggs. Yes, Diggs. Yes, sir. And I want people to know that this play of a lifetime has absolutely no Pat's bias in it whatsoever. This is just the numbers. This is by the numbers. All right. So we're putting Diggs in. Do we want? I kind of like AJ Brown. I mean, you got it. We're gonna need something. We're gonna need your Goddard or AJ Brown or Devontae. I mean, San Francisco's giving up points, even though we do have Saquon.
Goddard touchdown maker.
You in on that, Noto?
Yeah.
All right. Goddard. So then, what else are we doing here? We need Puka. Can we fit Puka?
I like something from Green Bay's passing game since we don't have Jacobs.
Oh, it's Watson. Watson or Dobbs would be my favorite.
Yeah,
Dobbs would be lower on. Let's go that route. And then maybe some Burden.
I love McMillan.
I really like McMillan.
Yeah, I love McMillan. I love McMillan too, but we didn't correlate this lineup at all. But
wait, we don't have any Rams.
I know that's scary.
That's great. We need.
So we can get Kate Kyron and put him in the.
I like Kyron more than ETN.
But I mean, we could have him in the flex.
Have all three. And
I think
whatever you want.
Yeah, there we go. The uncorrelated winner is how we're breaking this one down.
I don't think you need to play anybody with Josh Allen. And I know most people would say that's crazy. You know,
No. I'm totally with it. I'm not knocking it. I'm
just
totally
saying
with
in general, like people feel like they have to. In most scenarios, yeah. And I'm going to have lineups with both. I'm going to pair him. I'm going to have some where I don't, and just hope he's running him in and spreading the ball around, and nobody puts up a huge game.
In a 6-gamer, you can absolutely do anything is on the table, and they get even more is on the table as the 3-gamer and the 2-gamer. So yeah, I'm totally good with that, especially if they have rushing upside, which is what they need, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not playing naked Stafford, but all right. Beer, he's got volleyball to attend. He's been working the volleyball circuit for a while, so. Noto has a lot of things on his plate at this point in time, but we got some games coming up. But good show here, fellas. Thank you very much. Went longer than I expected, but final words for the people, Noto.
Yeah, it's a great slate to late swap, especially it doesn't matter what games you're playing, but anytime you have the games that are spread out, you want to analyze where your lineups are at compared to your competition and swap off the chalk if you need to. If you do that throughout the course of the season, even if it gets you a min cash 2 or 3 times, it's really going to make an impact on your profitability. So if you're off to a slow start, you might not think you have a chance, but still swap off the chalk in the late games.
Beer.
I mean, we got 2 generational bets these guys gave you. I mean, the New England money line, the Buffalo tight ends, first touchdown. I don't have any. Maybe I'll come next week with a general. I don't want to just throw one together here.
No, you can't. It's got to be. The numbers have to dictate it. You can't force it. Play of a lifetime
we'll
or a
see next
generational
week.
bet.
But chat was awesome. Such great questions and involvement, and we appreciate that. So always a fun weekend. I'm excited, to sit down and watch some games and a lot of different ways to build, a lot of different slates to play. The betting. So. Appreciate you guys. Always fun talking with you guys. Appreciate TJ, and best of luck to everybody out there this weekend.
Don't forget, Pat's money line, play of a lifetime. Let's get it. Pizza, wings, might even drink some sugar sodas today. I don't know. All right. This has been RG DFS Tournament Takes podcast. I think we're back again for next week. Is that true?
Yep.
And then that'll be our last hurrah. Last hurrah. So we'll see you there. Thank you.